Hello, everyone. Welcome to AgricTech Founders Diary, powered by AgricTech Digest. I'm your host, Kenneth Obayuana, and it's always a pleasure to be on your way again today. So, in today's episode, we'll be looking at a very interesting topic, and we have an amazing guest joining us. But today, we'll be looking at a topic we've titled Products or Problem, aligning agri-tech solution with the real farmers' needs. That's what we'll be discussing today with an amazing guest joining us in the studio. But you see, in agri-tech, innovations really fail because technology is weak. It fails because solutions are often designed far away from the realities of farmers. Tools are built, platforms are launched, but adoptions remain low because the real problem was not was never fully understood. So what we see these days is always people building for agri-tech, building for farmers, but they don't build with farmers. They build for farmers, but they don't build with farmers. As in today's conversations, we'll be focusing on the gap between product and problem. We'll be looking into how to build with farmers and not just for farmers. And joining us today is Mr. Oluwatobi Akorede, an agribusiness and operation professional who work closely with farmers, outgrower systems, and agri-tech implementation on the ground. He will be sharing with us or discussing with me today on how to build as an agri-tech startup or an agri-tech founder, how to build a solution that is tailored for farmers and how to build with farmers and not just for farmers. But before we dive in a quick short note, this conversation is supported by the Agritech Investors Group, a private and invite only community where agritech founders and investors have honest conversation about market access, adoptions, and scale real solutions across Africa's agricultural ecosystem. If you are building or investing in agritech and want deeper practical discussions like this, you are welcome to join us. Let's back again to the studio. Toby, before a practical before we practically jump into this podcast today, I want you to walk me through where your journey started from. How did you know what are you doing before you get to this point you are where you're now working with go art growers and all that in the agricultural space? So give us a gist, give us a background on how the entire journey started so far.
Yeah, good morning, everyone.
Good morning. Thank you very much for
Thank you
joining
so
us in the
much,
studio
Kenneth,
today.
for it's an honor to be joining you. Thank you very much, Kenneth, and the entire team for this podcast. Um, I would like to say I got interested in agriculture at a very early age of my time. My granddad used to have a cashew farm that we used to visit during the festive period, most especially Christmas and New Year. So, you know, I got used to agriculture at the early stage of my life. And then growing up, wrapping up my secondary school, I was like, oh, I wanted to do this thing, but I was like, oh, I want to make things convenient for farmers. So I was like, I wanted to do agricultural engineering. Went through to agricultural engineering, you know. In fact, I interned as an agricultural engineering after I was done with some of my programs. But then uh there was this research that myself and a friend of mine did some time back, and then we came to realize that uh most of the food that are produced in Nigeria, the ones that are consumed, aside the ones that are being imported into Nigeria, most of them are most of them are being produced by smallholder farmers, and these smallholder farmers, they constitute up to like 70% of the farmers in Nigeria generally. And these people, I felt like if these people can improve the way they cultivate, if we can get used to new technologies and things related to these things, they would be able to do better. And then I started my career into extension. I worked with an organization called Sotri. I started as an extension agent. I started understanding farmers, as at then I started at the uh let me say at the lowest hierarchy of the chain as the extension agent. I was very close to these farmers, most times eat with them, dine with them, understand their pain. So then as the whole thing started growing, I tend to understand that these farmers, they are people that you should not be far away from if you want to, if you want to build anything, if you want to design anything for them, you have to sit down with them, understand their pain, understand their day-to-day operation, understand their livelihood, understand the way they think, and then is going to be a very it's going to be a smooth operation for you to build anything for them. So I got used to farmers at the early stage of, so sometimes around 2019 when I started extension, starting from extension, I started progressing, state coordinator for some organizations until now that I'm not at the ingrower and outgrower project coordinator level at this moment. So that's that about that, Kenneth.
Great, amazing. But thank you very much for taking us through the entire journey, and thank you for all you are doing. But from your experience, how do you define the difference between building a good product and solving a real farming problem?
Uh, okay. Thank you, Kenneth. If I'm going to, if I understand the question very well, it's more like, you know, a lot of agritech, solutions, when you look into them at the, should I call it the proposal stage, or I don't know, there's this stage whereby, this project, these solutions are being projected to, maybe the donors, the NGOs. They look very amazing. They look very good. I would say, in our word on the field, they will say, these people, they are good on paper, right? Like when you see those solutions, they look very nice on paper. The paperwork are very amazing. You see, when you see the charts, you see the graphics, they are always very fine. But then when we get to the field, these solutions that look amazing, they start failing. They start, they tend not to fit into the purpose that they were designed for. And then from if a solution is not built around the knowledge of the farmers, if a solution, anybody that is building a solution and then do not have any practical knowledge about how smallholder farmers, how they think, how they operate, how they do their things, their day-to-day activities. If all of these things are not considered, even if the person building the solution does not have this knowledge, and then the person do not, decide or send somebody to the farm to learn these things, then this thing is just going to be a solution that is nice on paper. The ones that really fit in, that you see farmers adopt them, very well, is mostly the ones that are wrapped around, you know a lot of things that are around the farmers. Like, those solutions, they work under pressure, because most times farmer work under pressure. It fits into their, existing routine, the way they are doing their thing day to day. A solution that is going to work, at the pilot phase, maybe when you are testing it with few farmers, it accounts for labor availability, because sometimes these farmers are very short of labor, and it respects their cash flow. It is the risk attached to this solution most times are always minimal for the farmers. So a solution that is going to be good, that is good on paper, sometimes are not wrapped around, the farmers' knowledge, their skills, their day-to-day activities. But the one that are going to work, uh the first thing is it's built around farmers. It is built around them, and then, it reduce their labor, it save cost for them. The solution works under pressure. Definitely it has to work under pressure. It has to, because farmers, yeah, it is well. And then it has to fit into their existing routine. So that's what I
Hmm,
would say about,
yeah.
the difference between the ones that are good on paper and the one that really fit into farmers' activities or work for them.
Mhm. Okay, that's fair enough. So, but now let me ask you. you've been on ground with farmers, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Yeah.
as an agri-tech startup or as an agri-tech entrepreneur, how do I identify the pain point of farmers so I can build around those pain points for them?
Okay. Um, Farmers are very easy people to understand. But to be able to understand farmers, I would always recommend any organization that is building any solution
Mm-hmm.
for farmers,
Yeah.
try to, even if it is like 3 months, 6 months, even 2 months, take like from your work plan, design a period where you go to farmers, you understand them, like you sit with them as much as you can, you understand their day-to-day routine. It is from there that you'll be able to pinpoint, the problems, the essential problems, the key problems that they have, and the solutions. Because, excuse me, please, if you are in the office and you are just guessing that, oh, farmers are supposed to live like this, farmers are supposed to live like this, it is the work plan is going to, or the solution is going to be built on expectations and not on realities. So what I would always recommend is, when building a solution, try to take some time out, go to farmers, go to their settlements, try to try to understand them, speak with them, sit with them, understand their pain, understand the way they live their life, understand they run their operations. And if you can anybody that is able to do that, like 2 weeks, 4 weeks, 8 weeks, you are good to go. You would understand the things that you need to really key into that is going to help you, when you are building the solution. Sometimes it might be network coverage. Okay, now that's an instance. Sometimes it might be network coverage, and you understand that, oh, this solution that you are bringing in, it has to be accessible to even people that are not using, that they don't have stable network. Then you can come up with something that they can use USSD. But if you do not go there, you do not understand that these people do not have network issues. Then you will just build an app that even people that have like 4G, they are still struggling to open the app. And you go to the farm and they have like 2G or something like that. So spending time with farmers is going to help a lot with understanding them before building a solution. So that's how I would say, you pinpoint the realities of farmers. That's what I would advise. Hi, Kenneth.
Yes, I'm listening to you. Yeah, I'm here. I'm listening with you. Yeah, I'm here with you.
Yeah, so I think I've answered the question.
Thank you very much for that. Um, I really appreciate that. But let me ask you on that question that really bring us closer to what we discussed. What are some common assumptions, products, themes, or how do I put that now? Okay, what are some common assumptions, product teams or founders make about farmers that do not hold up s- once solutions reach the feed?
Mm, mm, mm. Okay. Um, one of the assumption that would that would okay, the most of these assumptions, there are a lot of them. Let me just pinpoint some of them. And the first thing I would like to talk about is, most times I've seen people that used to believe that farmers are resistance, they show resistance to change a lot of time. And with my experience with, most times small older farmers, I've tend to understand that these people, they are not really resistant to change. They want to grow, they want to do more, they want to get better for themselves. But what is always slowing them down to adopt change is that an average Nigerian farmer are seeing more agri-tech solutions than that we are in this value chain as educator for them. An average farmer within a year can get, somebody walking to them and saying, oh, this solution, that solution. They can get averagely like 10 in a year. And out of the 10, by the time they, okay, let's try this one, let's try that one, and then out of 10, probably only two works for them, and the remaining eight is just what it is. So when things like this happen to farmer, they tend to feel like, even this one, oh, yesterday I wanted to adopt this one, it failed. Day before yesterday, I wanted to adopt this one, it failed. So it's not like these farmers are resistant to change. They are just taking their time, because agriculture is something that you have to manage your risk. If you do not calculate it very well, you will just end up losing an entire year that you were supposed to use to cultivate. So farmers are not resistant to change. They are just trying to be careful. I would put it like that. And then there's this assumption that, once this person adopts a solution, yeah, generally they are going to adopt it. No, it doesn't work like that. It doesn't work like that. Even if a farmer adopts something, it does not necessarily necessitate that, uh, okay, farmers in another region are going to adopt the same technology. What works, it's almost like a live reality. What works for A might not work for B. But when building solutions, founders used to feel like, let's just generalize this thing. If you think like this thing is going to work for all of these farmers, no, it doesn't. So when building solutions, I will always say, understand location by location. Yeah. So those are my points regards, what people think about farmers and their adoption rates and related things like that. Thank you, Kenneth. Hi, Kenneth. Kenneth. Hello, Kenneth. Hello, Kenneth. Olubukola. Hello, Olubukola. Can you hear me? Kenneth, please, can you hear me? Oh, Jesus.
Hello, can you hear me?
I can hear you now.